My name is Sara Place. I'm an associate professor in animal sciences and AgNext, focused on feedlot systems. The topic of net zero or greenhouse gas emissions has been something that I've been studying for over a decade. So for example, my graduate work at UC Davis was focused on measuring methane emissions from cattle. Net zero, the idea behind net zero is for us to halt warming of the climate, right? And to stay within global average temperatures of 2 degrees Celsius relative to pre-industrial times, or even 1.5 degrees Celsius temperature change, ideally. So when it comes to net zero, what's clear is to achieve that temperature target, we need to take CO2 emissions or carbon dioxide emissions down to zero, or we need to basically offset them each year with CO2 reductions in the atmosphere. For non-CO2 gases that are greenhouse gases, like methane and nitrous oxide, those emissions need to come down, they need to reduce, but they don't need to be zero to stop warming. And that's a really key distinction for animal agriculture is if we are going to achieve net zero or no climate impact, no additional climate impact or warming impact from the cattle industries, for example, we need to reduce methane emissions, but methane emissions don't have to be zero to have no warming impact. So I think for us here at Colorado State's AgNext, and then for me personally, my goal is really thinking through, we know what our challenge is within animal agriculture is that we have a lot of greenhouse gas emission commitments, a lot of pressure that producers are facing to reduce emissions, but they're not really well equipped with, one, knowing what their emissions are or how to mitigate those. And so that's really a key part of what we do and what our program is building towards, is to build those tools to help folks predict what their emissions are, but then also come up with good tools to actually mitigate those emissions in a way that makes financial sense, in a way that is scalable across large to small operations in the state of Colorado, across the US, and around the world.